Hey guys, Pete Mercer here. Now how many times have you heard someone say, I can't do this, or I just can't be bothered, I don't want to do it, or something along the lines of, I can only bench 225 pounds, I've tried everything, it's not working, what can I do? And conversely, how many times have you heard someone say, of course you can, it's all in your head, you can do it, just think about it. And this comes down really to the mindset and how it ties in with bodybuilding. So I'm just going to cover a few pointers on that. And the first one is dedication in and out of the gym. Now, we all know that you're going to get your muscle gains, you're going to get them in the gym when you're doing your exercises, when you're doing your lifts. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're dedicated to that. So you're going to go to the gym, say 3 to 5 times a week. You're going to do a program that you've either decided or followed or someone's made for you, and you lift the respective amounts that you need to, and that's how you're going to develop and gain muscle in the gym. So you have to be dedicated to that. It's really easy to say, I'll go tomorrow, I'll leave it for a bit, I'm not really feeling it. But you have to be dedicated to that to perform well. Another thing this is going to apply for is cardiovascular exercise. How many times have you gotten up and it's been wet, it's been cold, and you think, oh, not today, it's not going to happen. You leave your run and you say, I'll do it later, and then bang, later comes, you don't do anything, you forget about it, and you leave it for another day or two. And the problem with that, as soon as you start saying no, or oh, I'm not really in the mood, you will keep saying no. It's compulsive. It's a lot easier to say no than it is to say yes, and that's who we are as people. So you really need to be focused on that. Another thing that might be affected by this is your nutrition. Sometimes it's really easy to say, I really want that slice of cake, I want some pie, or your friends say, come on, let's go out for a meal, we're going for a curry, you're having a chip, do you want some? Or even let's say you are out for a meal and you've decided what you're going to eat, which it conforms to your diet and your eating habits, and someone says, here, have some ice cream or have a chip, something like that, and the dedication to your goals and what you want to create and form with your body should decide what you do in those situations. And depending on how dedicated you are to your goals and aims, that's when you need to say no and just stick to your mindset. Obviously, sometimes you go off the rails a bit, sometimes you need to do this, or it's good to get away from this a very strict routine, and obviously it's healthy to have the variety and do things like that, to even save your mental state. But it's it's about what you do about that. How do you rectify that afterwards? What do you do to change that? Do you feel bad about it? Do you want to change? Do you want to make a difference because of that? And that's really what comes into your dedication to your body and what you want to do with it. A lot of people say, well, I have to only eat clean foods, or I have to count every single little bit of this, that, and the other. And yeah, that's a great goal to have, and it works really well. But you have to factor in some things that you enjoy as well, because it's very difficult to eat clean 100% of the time, every single meal of every single day. It's tough. And that'll wear you down, and also wear you down socially as well. So watch out for what you're doing. Yes, you need to be dedicated. You also need to be sensible about what you're doing. You can be dedicated and you can still fit in some of the fun, nice things. You don't have to ruin your life, just to try and sculpt the perfect body. There are ways to get around it, and there are ways to make it fit in. Things go hand in hand. Just because you're eating healthy foods doesn't mean that now and again something you have, if you factor it in correctly, won't work as well. So be dedicated, but be dedicated smart. Do it the right way. The next thing is when you're in the gym. How are you going to perform well in the gym? How do you get those reps out? How do you get good form in sets? What you have to do, visualize it. So important. The amount of times you see in a bunch of things, in music, someone might say, imagine the best sound you've ever heard. Now create that sound and better it. And you know what happens? It works. It's no one can explain it. It's in the mind. It's psychology. I'm sure someone knows the science or soft science or whatever it is behind it. But everyone knows it's true. It's one of those things. Everyone says you can do it. It's in your head. A lot of the times it is in your head. So it's like things like there's one thing they did, a brilliant one. They took a class of people who'd never played golf before, and they watched a video of Tiger Woods playing golf. And they watched it say 5 to 10 times, something like that there. And then they took all the kids on the driving range, and they had perfect form when they were playing. They'd never held golf sticks before, they'd never played golf, but because they saw what they were doing and they visualized, right, that was the only way they knew how to do it, because they had it in their minds, like, this is what I'm doing, and they got perfect swings, and everything was really good for that. So how do you do this in the gym? What you say you're going to do bench press. What do? You visualize what you're going to do. You say say you've taken notes from the last time you've done chest, and you say, I can do 50 kilograms for 10 reps. You say, right, so you visualize the best 10 reps you've ever done, and then better it. Go one more, go two more, and then, you know, make sure that you're doing it with good form, you know, and it all looks great, and that's exactly what you need to do. Then once you actually perform that set, chances are it's going to be one of the best sets that you've done, you know, and that's going to work like that, and that's how you're going to get, you know, the cleanness and the accuracy that you need to do to create the gains in the gym. That's what's going to happen to you once you start visualizing. This is what I need to do. You know, always do. You know, think about the best you can. Think about the best bodybuilder you can. Say you want to, you know, say you've seen Jay Cutler do something, or I don't know, Ronnie Coleman, or any one of the, you know, the big bodybuilders of the world, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and say, I've seen him do this. Imagine yourself doing it just as well and better, and you know what, you'll probably do better than you've done before. That's a really good way to improve your performance in the gym, is be better than you are by thinking it. You know, and you know, obviously, you know, it's a bit of a kind of mind over matter thing. Does this really work? Yeah, it does. Just try it, and that's what's going to happen. The next thing you need to do is have motivation, and that's going to motivate you as well. By, you know, when you visualize it well. That's going to get you pumped. But the other things are going to motivate you as well. Things like, you know, what do you listen to when you're in the gym? You know, some people go and they'll listen to, you know, pop music or trance or, you know, whatever, and you know, just to get a good rhythm to go to. It's fine and well having a rhythm to dance to or to run to or whatever. But you know, is it putting you in the right frame of mind that you need to perform well when you're lifting weights? You know, there's some people who have the school of thought, you know, some people love to listen to, you know, a heavy hardcore dance beat or dubstep, something like that there, and that gets them fired up. Some people go to the opposite end of the scale and go for hard rock and heavy metal, you know, but it's generally accepted by a lot of people that, you know, one way to get yourself fired up and get in the mood for something is, you know, to have music playing. You know, everything tends to work better to a soundtrack. You know, what happens, like in films, everyone says a movie should stand alone as it is, and all the music there is to do is to enhance it. So you should already have all the things that you need to do to perform well in the gym, and the music on top of that will enhance it. And you know, it's kind of like living to a soundtrack. You're working out to a soundtrack, and you know that's personal to you, and that's going to affect you as well. Another thing that might come into motivation is, how do you feel in the day? Do you feel lousy? Are you unwell? Have you just, you know, fallen out with your best friend or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or something like that, and you're not in the mood to do it? You know, some people might say that anger helps them in the gym, and they say when they're, you know, they give it more effort, that's what they do, and that's how they perform well. Some people say, you know, no, they have to be calm and peaceful and, you know, have very controlled reps. Whatever works for you is whatever you need to replicate, and you need to do that before you go into the gym, before you start lifting, and before each set, and you need to really get that mindset going, and that's what's going to help you, again, to perform better in the gym. It's, you know, be motivated, and, you know, take things that motivate you, whether it's people, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's anything at all. Floor arranging, if something, you know, gets you saying, okay, that makes me, you know, it empowers you, and say, right, I'm going to do this now, and it's because of that. Find what it is, make it happen, replicate it in your mind. The mind is so powerful for this, and that is something that you need to do if you really, really want, you know, to advance and make, you know, the best opportunities you can out of what you have. So the next thing, once you've got that, is you need to have goals, and this is, make short-term goals, learn long-term goals. It doesn't have to be, next week I want to lift one more rep than I did this week, because, you know, yeah, that's fine and well, it's admirable to do, and you're always making strength gains, which is, you know, that's important. It's exactly what we need as bodybuilders. But have long-term goals and say, okay, at the minute I'm lifting, you know, I'm doing chest, I'm doing 50 kilograms. In a month's time I want to lift 60 kilograms. In a half a year's time I want to be up to 80 kilograms, you know, or, you know, I want to do double what I'm doing now, things like that. And, you know, go for it. Reach for the ceiling, reach for the sky, whatever you want to look at it. Go too far and try that, because it's better to reach for the stars and fall short by 3 steps than to, you know, say, right, well, I want to go 3 steps forward, or I want to do a little bit better. Because once you've achieved a little bit better, yes, you've achieved the goal, but think about how much more you could have achieved if you had, you know, shot for more than that. You know, everyone's scared of failure. No one wants to make mistakes, things like that. But this is important. It's who we are as people. That's how you learn. It's how you grow. You know, so go too far, and then if you fall short, you know, you've probably gone further than you would have done if you had have just left it. So it's the next thing I want to go on to, which is learning from your mistakes. And, you know, this is one thing that's really easy to say, right, I've done 15 reps on this weight, so the next time I go and do this in the gym, I'm going to, you know, step it up to one more weight, and then say you do 5 good reps, and then you get 2 which are sort of okay, and then 1 that you're really squeezing out and it's just poor form. And that's, you know, a surefire way of saying, you know, it's very easy for that speed to say, well, this is the weight that I'm now doing and I can do this many reps. Just because you got the weight from A to B doesn't mean you use good form, it doesn't mean you use good technique, doesn't mean you actually gain anything out of it at all. So, you know, be careful of that. You know, everyone wants to lift the highest weight possible, the heaviest weight possible, and, you know, become bigger and stronger because of it. But if it's sacrificing your form, if it's sacrificing your technique, that's not a good way of doing it, because you're not going to be making as much you know, out of your workout as you could if you're using slow, good, controlled form. And that's, you know, really, really important. So, you know, don't get carried away. Yes, you want to do the best you can. Yes, you want to impress everyone, including yourself, and feel good about that. But, you know, if you get damaged, if you get injured, if something goes wrong, if you know that you're not doing that with the, you know, to the best of your ability, take it back a step. There's no shame in lowering the weight to perform better, because you'll get, you know, a better muscle contraction, and, you know, you'll get a deeper burn, and the rest of it. That's really important as well. So that's something you need to consider. And finally, we want to cover the muscle and mind connection. Here's a really simple one for you. How many times do you go to the gym and go to do dumbbell curls, and you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, 10, set the dumbbells down, wait 1.5, 2 minutes for your next set, and then just go through the motions again? How often do you think about every single rep? It's so easy to forget about, so easy to forget. I've done it on countless times, and I'm sure many other people have as well. But what you need to do, if you want to create, you know, the best, you know, the best opportunities and get the most out of what you're doing in the gym, you need to be thinking at all times about what you're currently doing. You know, it's fine while saying, you know, oh, there's a friend of mine, I'm going to talk to him, or I really like this bit in the song, and, you know, you kind of get into that. That's not the way to do it. You know, as soon as you start lifting the weight, as soon as you start, you know, squeezing out those reps, you need to think, right, so let's say you're doing chest press, right? Very easy, you know, the chest is a hard muscle to engage. So is the back. The larger ones are, you know, a lot harder to feel when you're lifting. So you're doing your chest press and you're going to get there. How often do you think, right, okay, I'm contracting the chest, I can feel the muscle being engaged in the lift, and say, right, I have now engaged the chest, now I'm going to use the negative. You know, that's a really good approach to do it. You know, everyone says, you know, slow reps are good for form, and some, you know, some people prefer, you know, low weight, high volume, and some people prefer high weight and low volume, whatever. That's another video for another time. But what you need to do is, no matter how fast or slow you're going, engage the muscle, be aware of it, think about it, make sure, right, okay, positive, contraction, negative, you know, relax, and take your negative slow, because, you know, that's when the muscle does the work. You know, it's things like people say, you know, explosive on the way out, activate your type 2B muscle fibers, and slow in the negative, and that's where you get, you know, the muscle growth. But, you know, it doesn't matter how explosive you are, how slow you are on the way down. If you don't activate the muscle, you're not working the muscle, it's not going to get bigger, you know, you're not going to get bigger. And that's what we want to do, you know, we want to create the best bodies we can. That's what we do as bodybuilders, and that's something you really need to think about. So, you know, make sure that, you know, make sure you're thinking about your mind and muscle, make sure you've got your goals, make sure you're visualizing exactly what you want to create in and out of the gym. Make sure you're dedicated to your goals and what you want to achieve and create as a person. You know, not even in bodybuilding now, you know, in life, do whatever, you know, just make things happen. If you haven't seen it and you want it to happen, make it happen. You know, but this is really about, you know, mindset, and, you know, this is what I feel is the #1 thing that's going to help you get further in you know, in life, in bodybuilding, and whatever you want to do. That's what you have to do. There are 5 or 6, I don't know what it is. It's probably 5. You know, good steps to get you started on your way. And you know, this is the most important thing. Yeah, it does. You know, it's fine to say I've got a great body, I can do X amount of weight, but, you know, what's really going to set it off is what you're thinking about and how you're focusing on what you're doing. So that's me done on that. I'm Pete Mercer. Take it easy.